What's up? Fitness Friday Q&A time, and we are coming to you from the lower level of my home today as our home office is going through some renovation work. So we are super casual. I'm literally on the couch with a blanket and a cup of tea. Getting to your questions today. The first question came from a client of mine who I work with online named Ashley. She asked about home gym must-haves as far as equipment. If you're going to work out at home and can't get to a gym, no problem. But what do I recommend as far as equipment must-haves? Usually working with clients, at some point there's only so much you can do with your own body weight. You're going to need to have some tools that are going to allow you to challenge your body a little bit more. I always recommend a stability ball, which is one of those really big inflatable balls. Another good tool to have is a medicine ball, which is a smaller ball, almost like a basketball. They can usually come 8 to about 12 pounds. It's a great thing to have. Resistance bands are fantastic for working at home. However, if you can get some dumbbells, that's really going to help. And you need more than one set, ideally, if you're going to be doing a lot of working out at home and to really do your strength training. You know, one set of 5 or 8 pound weights isn't going to cut it at some point. It's a great start. But I use their Bowflex Selectex, where you can actually dial in, and they go all the way up to 50 pounds. So it's an investment, but if you have the cash around or you're able to save up, that is something I would really recommend having. And the other thing is also another big investment, but some piece of cardio equipment is good if you have the availability to have a bike or a treadmill or an elliptical. That's fantastic. If not, a standard old jump rope will absolutely do the trick for some great at-home cardio. And that's not very expensive at all. The next question that I have was on Facebook from Katie, so thanks so much, Katie. She asked if Quest protein bars are good after a workout. And, you know, the answer on that is kind of yes and no. I think when we're talking protein bars, Quest is one of my preferred recommendations because they are lower in added sugar and they do have a lot of fiber. And when we're talking sugar and carbohydrate, we always want to look at fiber content in relation because we want a good amount of fiber to go with the high amount of carbohydrate. And they're also high in protein. So first, let's talk about post-workout nutrition. What do you need? I always recommend you have a good moderate amount of protein and a good moderate amount of carbohydrate because the protein is going to go to help rebuild some of the muscle tissue that's been broken down, especially if you're strength training. If you're doing cardiovascular exercise, this isn't quite the same. This is for strength training. So you want to rebuild that muscle and then the carbohydrate to replenish the lost glycogen from your muscles that gets depleted when you exercise. So you want to have both. Quest bars do have a good ratio of carb to protein. So they're not a terrible choice. I think if you're on the run and you're going to have to eat quickly and you're not going to be able to have the next meal for a long time, a Quest bar is a great option. I always try to steer my clients towards whole foods whenever possible, however. So if it's between a Quest bar and being able to actually sit down and have a meal, I would recommend sitting down and having a meal. Chicken is a great protein after your workout. You could also do a whey protein if you're someone who likes to do smoothies or shakes, and then try to find a carbohydrate that's a little bit higher in GI, which means it's going to be a little bit more faster absorbed. Something like a sweet potato is fantastic. Brown rice cakes, oats are wonderful after a workout. So even a banana is good too. So think about a quick digesting carb and a nice moderate protein source. If you're on the go and you just got to eat, the Quest bar is fine. And my last question came from a client I work with named Jennifer, who came in and said she was feeling some pain in her hip. She was squatting, and the next day, her leg was really bothering her, and it didn't get better for about a week. So she asked what she should do, and I said, well, we'll modify today's workout, and we won't do any squats. She does work out on her own, so she wanted to know if she should continue to avoiding squats. Should she work out and just do what she can, or should she not work out at all? We found that when she was working out with me, she was able to do many other lower body movements and she wasn't feeling the pain. Now, if there's pain with any movement, I never recommend doing it. If it hurts, stop. If there are other movements that you can do in place and there's not pain, then go ahead and do those. But it's just not worth pushing through something that you could make a lot worse for one workout. So what I recommended Jennifer do is avoid squatting until she can do it without pain. Ice the area that hurts and see if that makes it any better. It's 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off a couple times a day. And if it doesn't after about 2 weeks, then she should probably go see a physical therapist or a doctor to see if there's not something more serious going on. In the case of injury, it's always better to be safe than sorry. There's no reason to push through a workout and risk injuring yourself more to the point where you may not be able to work out for weeks or even months just for that one workout. So if hurt, modify, do what you can do without pain, and then always wait until you can do the exercise with no pain before you continue with it. Thank you guys for all the great questions. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.